Riverside as well, giving us his story corner.
Making sure I'm unmuted. That's always important. Can everyone see my slides?
Yep.
Okay, and it's the presenter. Okay, so thanks. I'm Eddie Schwieterman. I'm a new professor at UC Riverside. And like many folks, I wanted to reflect on a little bit of what we've lost during this work from home period and pandemic. My wife and I are both academics, and we both have demanding jobs. I put pictures of my kids and my family here because I have a lot more of those than I do have pictures of me sitting at a computer working at my office. And so some of the things we've lost during this period of time is being able to take our kids out to the park, being able to go get a haircut, being able to see my parents who live states away and have pre-existing conditions, so they can't travel and so they can't see their grandsons, unfortunately. And this sort of mirrors what we've lost professionally, whether it's quiet time in the office or seeing our colleagues and collaborating. For ExSoCal, of course, this used to be an in-person meeting, and here are pictures from 2017 and 2018. And wow, we sure would have loved to share our campus with you, our beautiful UCR campus. But I also wanted to reflect on maybe some of what we've gained. Not to say that any aspect of this pandemic has been a good thing, or the management of it. And after all, we have lost people. But through this difficult time, we've made accommodations for both our work and for our families. Some of those accommodations have been really helpful and really useful. And so I'd like to share a story from my family. My son was 19 months when he was diagnosed with a speech delay, severe speech delay. And when we went into lockdown, he spoke just 10 words. Fortunately, one of the silver linings of the pandemic is that all the time my wife and I would have spent commuting, the 2 hours a day we spent commuting, all the times we would have been traveling or on planes, actually we got to spend that with our sons. And so we read with my older son and showed him videos and did activities with him. And that's just one little thing we were able to do. And now he's all caught up with his speech. And so this is one little silver lining to this pandemic. And I thought I'd share some good news with that. There are other silver linings too, of course, whether it's we're getting rid of the GRE, whether we have more accommodations for folks with disabilities, whether we have more virtual meetings and we can expand participation. And so we see that with ExSoCal, for example. We had 282 registered participants. 110 were on the session yesterday morning. And so we've greatly expanded our reach for our small regional meeting to people all over the world, after all. My wife and I also had a baby during the pandemic. We actually got intake forms. Our son Logan was born in late May. And so we had a day of admission forms that had a COVID-19 pandemic version on them. And so that was a little bit of a challenge. We didn't have any visitors. But the silver lining of all of this was that we got to spend a lot more time with our new baby. And there was a lot more time for our older son to bond with our younger son. And so they love each other. He's really cute. He asks us to check on the baby all the time. And he goes and checks on Wade checks on his younger brother, Logan, all the time. And so that's been one blessing from this. I wanted to spend the last minute just to talk a little bit about something which is confronts all new parents or parents in this time, which is this reality of screen time. And so I just wanted to share some things that we found. Our older son, Wade, reality is two adults working, he's gonna have some screen time. But there are so many educational videos out there. So one is Netflix, our favorite Netflix show is Storybots. And there's even one about how planets form. And there are so many YouTube channels that are great. And one little tip is to turn captions on. So and make them large. And so Wade is even capturing some of the words that he sees often and being able and is able to recognize them. And that includes all the planets of the solar system and all the dwarf planets he can recognize by sight. And so this is a picture of him in the corner making planets with Play-Doh. And so he names them all after the solar system. And here's just some quick links. These are all things that my wife and I found really helpful to educate and distract our son. And also recommendations are for magnetic blocks and Play-Doh. So thanks for letting me share that really brief vignette of a story about our family. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Eddie. I am gonna mess up the sharing things.